Head chop today, head chop today. Let's do a head chop today. Well, the duck is back, and as you can see, old sexy's not so sexy. Looking a little bit sexy less. Sexy less, sexy. Just, it's sex, isn't it? If you take off the sexy, the E, yeah. Anyway, we pulled the top of the engine down. Didn't find anything wrong with under the tappet gaskets, under the tappet rocker box, and the gaskets. It all looked really good. So we kept going, took the heads off, and this is what we found. Now, I don't know if you can see that. Let me get a torch and shine it down in there. Just let me, sorry, just bear with me. I don't know whether you can see it, but there's a massive gap down there, down beside that down beside the piston here, right? Massive gap, like you drive a semi truck and trailer down there. This is what? Oh, this is 12 thou. Look at that, and it just falls in there. And there's, you go around the other side. Let's have a look at the other side. Oh God, it's quite, yeah. Anyway, the gap is excessive. I don't even have to measure it, and I can tell you that it's excessive. And then I noticed on the wall, big scratches down the wall. See them? Beautiful big scratches. Right. And then the back one, back cylinder. And you can see, I don't know if you can tell, but I think the barrel's actually glazed. I think it's just, yeah. So you can see it. It looks like they've, you see this, if you can't, for the untrained eye, see the big scratches here, right? And that's not from this time round. This is after the rebuild. So what I think they've done, let me have a feel in there. I'll put you on the holder because I'm jumping around like a turd in a you-know-what. Turd in the piss bottle. Take you up a bit. Hey. See, I can't feel, oh yeah, no, I can feel that one. So what I think's happened is when it blew up last time, it should have been bored, and it should have been bored out and oversized pistons. And what they've done, because I don't know how to explain it, but I can feel the scratches, but there's been smoothed out, that, you know. And what I Go around the other side. What I think they've done is they've got in there with a blimmin' hone and they've honed it, trying to hone those scratches out. And now the barrels are just so, the hole in the barrel is just too excessive. Okay, so let's have a Jack Norby and see if we can get them off. This is a really handy tool, a rubber mallet. She's stuck good. She comes. Whee. Okay. I don't know. Let's have a look. I'm going to have to change that position in that thing. Bear with me. So you can see the scratches down that barrel, right? Now I can tell you it's not from the lack of oil. Yes, that's the back side, so this is the front side. I think you can see that. I'll hold it there, it's bloody heavy. Yeah, hold it in front of the camera and so for it, she's a big engine. So if you this piston here is one out of my bike, 96 cube. So that's when you can see on the side of mine how it had the meltdown, and then I'll show you the difference. You see, without dropping the bloody thing. See, you can see the size difference here. See? Okay. Right. Let's have a look at the gasket. Okay, so you can see I've checked this hole. You see the hole through the gasket, it's there. So everything, oh look at that big wad of crap going down and trying to go down in there. Let's get that out before we go any further. Better, oh, it's actually, what the hell's that off? It looks like, yeah, it's like some of the stuff off the off the gasket or something. Anyway, let's spin that up and just see. See if I got some. Not that we need to worry about that piston. What did I do with those? Okay, I don't know where they are at the moment, but normally I put plastic pipe on here so the piston doesn't get damaged. Just make sure you're in the shot. Just bring that. Same deal again. If I thought that this engine was in good nick, I would put the bolts back in here with spacers to hold that down so it didn't upset the steel, but I mean the seal. The whole thing has to be pulled down. So I'm looking for marks what coincide with the marks. Okay, that's really interesting because the marks on the piston right, they're not as bad as what's on the barrels, and the pistons look like they're in good nick, right? Oh gee, hello, what's it? No, that's some more of that stuff off the. Anyway, I'll go around the other side. It's actually easier. And you ask me, oh well, why is that interesting? Why is it interesting? The all the rings and that are free. Why is that interesting that the pistons have got less damage than the barrel? And I think that's what's happened, right? Instead of getting the barrels measured by a proper, so what he's tried to do is hone them. Someone's honed them, and then they haven't measured the barrel to see whether they've gone too big for the pistons, and the piston is too sloppy in the barrel, right? And it's doing exactly what I said the other day. The piston is going up, and every time it comes up for compression, air is shooting down beside the piston down into the crank and pressurizing it so much. It's actually forcing all the oil out of the engine, back up and out of the engine, right? So instead of the oil being able to run down from the rocket box down into the bottom of the engine, there's so much air coming up from the bottom. It's keeping the oil in the head, and then that's blowing it. Then it was blowing it out of the breathers, you see. Now I put the crank breather into the crank, and basically it went like this, because that's the way my engine's set up, and it works really well. And I thought if I done that, that would at least stop the oil going up through those breathers out the top of the engine. And what happened is it started going out the breather behind the engine, right? And that's what warned me. So let's see if this other one will come off. Oh. It, okay. I think that's what they've done. They've just tried to hone it. I believe this has damaged what was done the last time the engine blew up. They've just honed it. And the reason why I say that is this, the damage the damage on the pistons, you can see it. The damage on the pistons is nowhere as bad. Come on, fumble fingers. I've got oil on my hands now. Alright, the damage on the pistons is nowhere as bad as what it is on the barrels, and that tells me that's what tells me what's happened. So long story short, this guy, the customer, has paid, basically they look like new pistons to me, so they're you know, $500-600 flushed down the drain, right? Because they didn't follow procedure. And the procedure goes like this: you've got to get them, your barrels measured up. You know, the bits that I took off, you've got to take them to a proper engine rebuilder, and he's got to check that they're round. They've got to check that they're within tolerance to the pistons. Now, if he had taken, this guy who rebuilt this engine, if he had taken it to a reputable engine rebuilder and says, look, can you mic these barrels up and see whether they're good enough to put another set of pistons in, the first thing that engine rebuilder would have said to him, no, it's no point. There's too much damage in these barrels, right? Now, I've got to take these into the engine rebuilder. I'm going to take these pistons off, check the crank for excessive slack. I'll check crank, feels good. I'll check it again when I just don't want to dick around with it too much, because I don't want any shit dropping in there. Anyway, I'll finish this video and then I'll put some rags in there and square it all up. So, where was I? I got I've got to take the pistons off, take them in, get them measured up now, and then the engine rebuilder will be able to tell me whether these pistons, I would say these are standard. I'm not sure. I won't know that until I get them off. And underneath the pistons, it'll have a code what tells us whether it's standard pistons or not, right? If they're 10 thou over already, or 10 thou over is what a term we call in my trade, is when they bore the barrel out bigger and then put the next size piston in there. You only get 3 goes at doing that, and then you have to throw the cylinders away and get new cylinders, or get cylinders, new steels put inside the aluminium cylinders. And here in New Zealand, I don't know of anyone who does do that, and what I have heard through the Bush Telegram is that costs the same money as buying new cylinders. So that's where we're up to at the moment. My God, so for those of you who are a little bit more technical, I put feeler gauges together when I took the head off last night and put it down beside the piston, and it was nearly a mil of gap, right? So, and I could actually see the top ring. I could see the top ring, which is, you shouldn't normally see the top ring. It's like a warning sign. The other point that I would like to make here is that you normally for boring an engine up to the next size, you should be able to do it for what, last time I had it done it was about 300, so something like that. So I'm going to use my guesstimator here for an extra $400. This guy who built this engine could have got those cylinders rebuilt and bought the 10 thou oversized pistons and put them in for the same money. You see, for 10,000 oversized pistons are the same money as standard pistons. So why didn't he just buy oversized pistons, get the bloody thing bored out, and put new pistons in it? His name is just gone down the toilet, and even though it's I haven't mentioned his name, the Bush Telegram people know this bike, they know where it was done, and his name has gone down the toilet. I don't need to say, I don't know whether the guy knew. I mean, he must have had a fair bit of intelligence, because he pulled the engine apart and put it back together. The only thing he done wrong is he shortcut on some of the parts and didn't put, and that's, by God, if you're a mechanic like this, I say to you, by God, all hell will catch up with you if you do this in New Zealand, right? Because it's such a small, and your karma will catch up with you, my friend. There's only one way to do mechanicking: do it properly. Right? Do it properly. It is cheaper. I've said it once, I'll say it again, 1,000 times. It is always cheaper to take a little bit more time, spend a little bit more money, and do the bloody job properly, right? And if you're not going to do it properly, piss off and do something else, right? Because it's guys like me who have to come and clean up your shit. Okay? Anyway, on that note, and yes, I am pissed. Yep, because out of this whole bike, I thought I didn't have to go near the engine because that had been done. But once again, yeah, anyway, waffling on. I need to go and have a beer, go and have a coffee and chill out. Anyway, have a good one. The duck is out, the duck is out, the duck is gonna blow. Here he goes.